Okay, good morning. So I didn't do a live voiceover, but I'm just doing it now post because I was working and people were coming in and out of the room. But I'll just narrate you through everything that I was doing. So I initially went down and looked into the 15-second time frame so that I could really see exactly what was happening. And as you can see, I saw a market structure shift on the 15-second time straight at a point of interest. So I said, you know what, it's already happened. It was already post 9:45, I think it was 9:50 at the time. So I jumped in there. As you can see, I put my stop loss below the low, below the point of interest actually. We can see that the price retested again, and it comes back down into that gap that was left during that market structure shift. So this technically could be another buying opportunity. As you can see, I kind of flip between the 1 minute and the 15-second. Obviously it's between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and we're way below the 9 o'clock open. And as I understand it from Rich the Bull, every 1 hour candle has a market structure shift of some description in the wick. So that's what I was concentrating on. So we're in the wick of the 9 o'clock candle until it crosses that point as such. Now as we get into 10 o'clock, you can see that we open up and we go straight up high. So again, I was thinking open high, is it going to be there? I was looking at the wick of that high of the first part of the AM session, that first 30 minutes, to see where my take profit could be. Because I was looking at being conservative, looking at the price level where the wick was, and looking for a reasonable take profit, which I think I put at 75% in the end. But as you can see, we're still at that after 10 o'clock open candle. I was looking for it to continue up higher, get some retracement, but I really don't want to see any retracement below that initial kind of green line as such. As we can see, we start to climb up, and then I look to use my fib tool to see where we are in our kind of price range, if we're at 50%, 25% of the previous cycle's price range, to see any kind of reaction, to see if we're going to continue going up or coming back down. But as you can see, we continue sideways through the first part of that 10 o'clock candle. We haven't established a wick as yet. I obviously put on a second position, and there we go, that's the fib, and I'm looking to see where we're going. As we drop down one more, this could be a point where you could actually buy again, because we're respecting that level of that market structure shift, where we have that, you see, we are on the 15-second time frame. So I'm here just waiting and monitoring. I've got that for Fairway gap marked up, because that should be my point where we should see price move above there. And I'm just looking at what happened at that low. That was at I went down to the 5-second to see that there was a market structure shift there. As I say, that's the market structure shift in that 10 o'clock candle. And as you say, if it's not in the time frame that you're looking at, if you don't see it in the 1 minute, drop down to the 15-second, to the 10-second, and I've obviously gone all the way down to the 5-second to see that market structure shift. And as you can see, I'm just pointing them all out, but each one of these do have a market structure shift in there, to note that we are going up higher. as I say, I'm expecting time distortion till 10:45 because that's, when the next macro is. So we're just waiting, and I anticipate that we will go up and down, back and forth until 10:45. As you can see, we're approaching the kind of 10:30. So in the next kind of time cycle, and here I am looking to see how we react to that 10 o'clock open of that candle, because when we pass above that, then that obviously that denotes our wick, open, low, and then we're going up hopefully from here on in as we pass that open, so that we have essentially a green candle, right? So as we continue up, we're moving quite quickly. I was quite surprised considering we hadn't reached the 10:45 time, but obviously I'm not complaining, but I'm also conscious of these other gaps that we have to pass through. I'm just checking at the other time frames to see if I've missed anything. Just trying to manage things. I see there, if you can think that breaker block there could be where we get some level of resistance, and as you can see, we turn around, we have a small pullback. I manage my stop loss to bring it above, so I've got something, but I wouldn't want to see price go below there, that point at this stage. So as I say, this is me just kind of reading the tape, looking where all of the gaps are to see what's happened. We've reached the 50% mark of or consequent encroachment 50% of the previous price cycle. And so I would expect, so the reaction to this is quite telling for me. Do we react on it, reject it, and then go all the way back down? I have noticed that you get some level of retracement to maybe the 25 or even 50% level, hence why I kind of just adjusted some of my stop losses slightly. I was just looking to see the proximity to the last pullback. It is before, or should I just say just above the 50% mark. As you can see, I took a partial because we were at the 50%. It could turn around. I kind of see that we got another kind of potential structure shift to go back down, and I think there was a small SMT on the top. So, but as you can see, we drop down slightly. We do go down. As I say, this is the retracement. So I jumped out. Obviously our stop loss was there. I was like, fair enough, it's all good. It's not going anywhere. At this point, I kind of just left things running. I was working, so I just kind of left it. Wasn't really looking at the screen too tough. I figured that was it for me. This was the low. Do we want to, as I say, just looking at the reactions to these, because if this could be a retracement into the 1 minute market structure shift, or break a block, high, low, higher, high, there's me dropping down to a lower time frame to see what's happened, and this is where I think actually this is at this point I think I kind of disappeared. So you could have re-entered from here when we were at that low. It's interesting to see the reactions, and we climb back up. I think I was on a call, so I didn't do anything, and I missed this kind of the bottom, so to speak. Come back and saw that, so I just double checking what happened on the lower time frames, and as you can see, okay, so we're still going up. There's the market structure shift, we're going up. I see the retracement again, so let me just jump in again. So I've gone in because I still believe that we're going to go up to the take profit. I say believe, but this is what the signs are telling me. We get our pullback here to that gap there, and then as you can see I jumped in again, and anticipating that we can continue to go up higher. So that's what's happening here. I set my take profits. I've put them just inside. I put them at that key price level, which is at 75% of that wick. I was initially thinking it should go as high as the time frame at the top, that previous cycle high. But as you can see here, we started to get a wick, and then I started to get scared a little bit to move in my stop loss. I'm thinking, is it going to make it? We got an initial pullback again. I took a partial, should I say. I didn't really have the resolve or the stomach to hold on for any longer, because this is where you've got to build your confidence to know exactly what's going to happen. And as you can see, we wick up again. And then we see another pullback. Let's just see, and I think this is what I said, I think I've come out, I just didn't have the resolve to hold on. But as you can see, we've now reached the 50% of that wick, and price pulls back. It pulls all the way back down to see the big BISI that broke the previous 30-minute cycle high. And as you can see from this final shot, if I'd held on, price would have reached the take profit, and then you can see that there was a beautiful reversal and all the way back down. So I guess this is the range that was happening at this price range, and yeah, you've got a market maker buy and sell model. Could have done both sides of the curve if you really wanted to, but it is the day before NFP, so it shouldn't really be trading or pushing it too tough. But yeah, it looks really good from here. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments.